We've got to start by talking about your quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. I know you were so excited when he committed to come to Indiana. Why was that? Why were you believing in him as the quarterback of this program?
Well, on tape, he had, the things you're looking for. And we've had quarterback success, quite a bit of it in our past. And he looked like a guy that we could develop and win with. And once he got to us, he needed some work in the pocket, but his growth has been really unbelievable. And as good a player as he is, he's even a better person. He's an unbelievable person.
When you talk about his growth, walk us through it. Like, what are some of the areas on and off the field?
On the field, it was more in the pocket, poise, footwork, patience, trust in the protection, going through his progressions, seeing the field, footwork. He was actually more behind than I anticipated him being. And he made progress, big-time progress, near the end of spring and at the end of fall camp. And then I think after about the second game, you really started to see it come together for him. And, he built on his successes and developed more confidence and belief, and really has made some unbelievable plays and put together some great games. I think I heard a stat last night, the last 4 or 5 home games, he's got 21 touchdown passes and 16 incompletions. So, that's pretty good.
What were you thinking during that drive against Penn State to come back and win the game, like as you're watching him methodically drive down the field?
Yeah, well, I'm not really watching him drive us down the field because I got to stay in tune to the situations, and I'm helping with Mike upstairs, and I thought we did a great job of managing the clock there. But when you think about the game, we had a chance to put Penn State away in the third quarter, and we didn't do it. And they gained momentum, scored 17 straight, and we had 2 or 3 drives where we did absolutely nothing, and he got hit quite a few times too. So now we've got the ball with 1:40 to go on our -20 with no timeouts. And he gets sacked on 1st and 10, running clock 1:30, 2nd and 17. And at that point, there couldn't have been many people in the stadium thinking, it looks very, very good for Indiana. Yeah. But, our guys kept their calm, kept their poise, and of course he's the key guy. And, he delivered that pass to Cooper for a first down. When he hit his plant foot and delivered the ball, he didn't even have a chance to hitch. He got whacked. But it was 1st and 10. And then he just threw darts down the field, and our guys made plays. And really an incredible 2-minute drive. It's got to be one of the great 2-minute drives of college football history.
And one of the great catches. I mean, could you see it? Could you tell he got the foot in?
Oh, I was right there, and you don't know at that point what the review is going to show. And then you hear the crowd cheering when they see the replay, and you're thinking, oh boy, maybe he was out of bounds. So you're getting the team ready for the next play. And then the official came up before the announcement said, Rolly's going to stand.
Wow.
Our sideline just went crazy.
Unbelievable toe tap, really.
Unbelievable catch.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about the greatest drive. That's the greatest catch I've seen collegiately.
Is Fernando Mendoza the best quarterback in college football?
He's the best quarterback for Indiana. And I mean, I can't say that I've seen every quarterback, right?
You are a film junkie, though.
I am a film junkie. And, he's a leader for the Heisman Trophy based on everything I'm reading, and deservedly so. I think team success is more important to him than individual accolades, and that's what makes him so special. I think he's handled all this hype extremely well. And when he has the opportunity to go in front of the mic or the camera, he does an A+ job every single time. Yeah, does he deserve it? There's still football to be played. We're only, part way through the book right now. Let's let the season play out.
We're partway through the book, but we've got 11 wins, 1 more game left to go in the regular season. This is a place that has never done that, had a perfect regular season in football. Mm-hmm. It's not a place that's been known for a lot of football success. What would it mean to this place if you were to go undefeated, finish off the regular season with the win over Purdue?
Well, to me, that's the one coming up, and it's a big rival game. It means a lot to our alums, our fans, our key supporters, and our guys need to know that, and they do. And we have to have a great week of prep, and we're going to have to play well up there at Purdue. So, I don't assume anything. We can't assume anything. I got a lot of respect for Purdue. I got a lot of respect for their head coach, and I see the way they play. They're playing hard. If we were to prevail in that game, our team is such, we're very process oriented. Our eyes would then be on the next one. And because there's more football left to play, there's not going to be a lot of time to really sit back and enjoy it. It'll be a tremendous accomplishment, one step, but more steps to take.
I know you're very confident in yourself. I've Googled you. You've won everywhere you've been, and obviously the success last year. Did you believe an undefeated season was possible in year 2 here, though?
I'm not sure I really think that way. Nowadays with the portal, you have so many new guys on your team. I think every head coach has some questions about their team before the season starts. Like, how will we be? How will we respond to success, adversity, etc.? And but I thought it had a chance to be a special year. And I've got a lot of guys on my staff been with me a long time, which has been a big plus. And I made a note right before we started camp. I just had a feeling that this could be a special one. And things have come together as such, and we've had some big road wins. I mean, really, the first real big game was Illinois. They were 9th in the country, and we had a very decisive win here at home. And then you go to Iowa, which is a really tough place to play, and pull that out at the end of the game. And then Oregon was 2 or 3 in the country at the time, and I think that was a big step for us because there were still a lot of doubters nationally, and it was a good win. And then to come back like we did against Penn State, who, regardless of their record, they got a lot of players and they had momentum, and that 105,000 people, they were loud. It was good to be in that situation, I think, and prevail. So, today's a new day. We got to maximize the off week and go into Purdue prepared.
Do you think there are still doubters?
I don't think it really matters to us if there are doubters and we see that stuff. It only kind of fuels the motivation, so to speak. There's always going to be people for you and people against you, depending on what part of the country you live in, or what side of the state your school's on. That stuff doesn't really matter to us.
Well, it feels different than last year when it was such a surprise and it was shocking to people. This year, it's like, all right, Indiana, number 2 in the CFP rankings, and we move on. It does feel like people have seen those wins and seen the toughness, seen the play. At least from my perspective, it feels like
I think
less
going
doubters.
on the road, some of those road wins, and the Illinois, I mean, they were number 9 in the country, and we beat them, 63-10. So I think we've taken a step this year, but we're not finished.
What was it in the preseason that made you think it could be special?
It was just the fact that we had added some good pieces. A lot obviously would depend on the quarterback development. And I can tell you, going through camp, it's tough being quarterback here because our defense does a lot of stuff. Bryant Haynes does a great job. And the second scrimmage, we didn't have any success on offense at all. And in my mind, I went in with the offensive staff the next day when we were watching the tape, like, boy, we're going to have to run the ball and do this, do that. And,
Yeah. Worst case scenario, can't throw it this year.
Yeah, but, I knew we had the right people in place staff-wise. I knew we had the pieces in place on the roster. Now, we're thin in some spots. We haven't been really a good, dominant blue blood type program for 5 years where you have the kind of depth throughout your team that you'd like to have. So staying healthy is important for us. But just had that feeling.
50 years ago, there was an Indiana basketball team that had a perfect season. They got banners, they've got all sorts of memorabilia over at Assembly Hall. It's historical. Can this football team make Indiana history?
I think we've already made Indiana history and then some, based on Indiana's football history and what we've been able to accomplish in 2 years. I think what you're asking is, can we equal the achievement of the basketball team? And I guess we're going to find out.
They went undefeated. They were coached by Bobby Knight. Were you a fan of his growing up at all?
I did like Bobby Knight.
He liked to say what he thought.
Yeah, and a lot of people around here, I get a lot of that you and Coach Knight remind me of each other, people that knew him really well. And but I was a Bobby Knight fan, yeah.
What was it about him? Just the way he coached?
The way he coached, his intensity, his presence. He said what was on his mind, which I don't do as much of that this year. I don't need to anymore.
That team 50 years ago, so they went undefeated and they cut down the nets. They won the national championship. What is this team going to need to do to have postseason success?
We've got to stack days. We're process driven. This week the emphasis is on getting rested and healthy. We played 6 straight games. You could see it. I could feel it Penn State week. I could feel it with the staff and with the team. Then we played Wisconsin. So it's great to have an off week. We got to use it to our advantage and have a great week of prep and just keep stacking days and prepare. We've met every challenge up to this point because we prepare the right way. And then we put it on the field and play 1 to 150. And the one thing this team has done is they've really listened to the message and taken it to heart about playing one play at a time, like game on the line, first play to last play, regardless of the score. And so we've been fairly consistent in all 3 phases. Never perfect, but consistent.
I know you do focus on that next play, the small increments, but I want to zoom out a little bit and talk about the future of this program. How does Indiana football sustain this success? Like, what are the keys to sustainability now?
As long as we have a commitment from the top, President Witten, Scott Dolson, then there's no reason we can't be successful week in, week out, year in, year out. As long as you have the commitment from the top, you got the right people in place on your staff, and you're bringing the right people into your program down in the locker room. This game's all about development, retention, and recruiting. And, we've got a proven product in terms of what this staff's been able to put out. It's our 3rd straight year starting at least 10-0 as a staff. And, we believe in what we're doing. And you just got to surround yourself with the right people.
Are you confident you can do it? Those guys are going to get head coaching opportunities, and the core group, the JMU guys, are going to go off to the NFL. Can you build off of what they helped set the foundation, even whether them if they move on eventually?
Well, change is a constant in life, and when change happens, we'll be prepared to address it, whether it's the roster, which happens yearly, or on the coaching staff. But those guys get paid a lot of money. It'd be hard to leave.
You guys have had such a great hit rate with the transfer portal. What is the key to that? How are you able to make sure that someone's going to fit?
Evaluation, I think, is so critical, and but we look for production over potential. Obviously, that's been stated before.
Yep.
And I think what leads to production, over time is good habits. Finding people that are committed, that love football, disciplined, have a good work ethic, coachable, and can fit into a team concept. We're not going to recruit selfish guys, guys, or guys that don't want to pay the price. And so when you surround yourself with a lot of achievers, high achievers like that, and you prepare weekly the way you're supposed to, anything's possible.
How do you balance that with high some of
Right.
the top guys want to come to Indiana now.
Oh yeah, well, high school recruiting is the foundation of the house. And as we've gotten better, the high school recruiting's improving. And you can see that now with guys wanting to jump on board. Now, generally speaking, the high school guys take a little longer to develop, right? The portal guys, you're bringing them in for immediate help. And you know what? There's still more unknowns with the high school guys than the portal guys, because the portal guys have a collegiate track record. The high school guys, some are 17, some are 18. They all come from, what's he going to look like in 2 years? There's still more things you don't know about the high school guys. But, we've got 23, 24 commitments, and I see that as the formula every year, and eventually weaning down from the portal a little bit because, the portal dates have changed. There's only one date now, starting January 2nd, and that'll be a challenge. Assembling a class, and then you start school at a certain date, and hopefully we're still playing, right? But there's needs this year as well. But eventually, you begin to wean down more and more every year.
You signed an extension very quickly as jobs were open and there was going to be
Right.
a crazy coaching carousel. What led you to recommit on the spot?
You know, Scott came to me, and my wife and I had talked. I mean, we love it here. This is where she wanted to be. I love the people I report to, Pam and Scott. I really like the campus. I love Bloomington, where we live. My kids love coming to the games, flying in for the games. And the people have been just so great. And, you know, I feel like it's something that it's ours, you know, something we have created. I couldn't, like, I played the scenarios through my head last year and this year. Because when you win, you see your name getting thrown around. I just couldn't imagine leaving for anywhere. There was nowhere I'd have gone. So when Scott came to me, I said, yeah, sure, let's do it.
When you talk about investment, I mean, some of it is the staff salary, your salary. What are those other pieces that investment from Indiana looks like so you can be a national competitor?
You got to be able to retain staff, and you got to be able to recruit players. And players get paid now, so that's important. And then you got to continue to improve the infrastructure. Things are critical to program success, and all those things are on the docket. A lot of them have been done. There's still things to do, but as long as Pam Whitten's the president and Scott's the AD, they'll continue to get done.
How do you hope people talk about Indiana football 5 years from now?
I really haven't thought about that. I guess that will depend on what we accomplish in the next 5 years.
We probably don't need you to promise, you know, Big Ten championship game appearances to shock anyone at that point.
Not anymore. At the time, I did.
I was there.
It was a clashing of two worlds. So, you know, I think we've legitimized ourselves to some degree. But you've always got something to prove in this game. Everything is earned, not given. The game gives you nothing. You earn everything.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It was great to visit with you.
Yep,
Best
great to
of
see
luck down the stretch.
Thank you.